Good evening. Welcome to California Today. I'm Lang Zhang. Here's a preview of some of today's stories. As one storm passes, another is not far behind. More rain is expected in the Golden State in the coming days. Stanford University published a language guide earlier this month. One word labeled as harmful language resulted in public criticism, and now the university has backtracked on the move. And a Bay Area judge ruled that San Francisco cannot clear homeless encampments unless it provides shelter to those living on the streets. This comes after a group of homeless people sued the city. The exit of a winter storm in California has paved the way for another to enter. Weather forecasts predict a rainy start to the new year.
As one winter storm leaves the state, another one lines up to soak the state. According to the National Weather Service, the new storm is expected to move through Northern California, bringing more rain next week. An earlier storm arrived Monday, causing howling winds, snow, and drenching rains. The next big storm was predicted to hit on Saturday and extend into Sunday. The Los Angeles Area Weather Office said, quote, New Year's Eve celebrations planned for outdoors should include contingency plans.
Stanford University is drawing controversy over its recent harmful language guide. Following public criticism, the school updated its guide once again.
A Stanford University guide regarding harmful language caused an uproar among the public. Published in mid-December, the language guide categorizes certain phrases and words into sections, including ableist, culturally appropriative, gender-based, imprecise language, and institutionalized racism. The guide provoked backlash, especially over its advice to replace the word American with U.S. citizen, which was listed in the imprecise language section. Following public criticism, Stanford backtracked on the move. Steve Gallagher, Chief Information Officer at Stanford University, said in a statement that not only is the use of the term American not banned at Stanford, it is absolutely welcomed. He also admitted that the presentation, quote, missed the mark. Controversy surrounding the guide also stems from inside the university. Dr. Jay Bhattacharya, a professor of health policy at Stanford School of Medicine, said he opposed the elimination of the word American and added that universities shouldn't carry out, quote, word policing. He wrote on Twitter, I remember how proud I was when I became a naturalized American citizen. I'm still proud to be an American, and I don't care that Stanford disapproves of my using the term. According to the language guide, the purpose is to, quote, educate people about the possible impact of the words we use. Currently, the language guide is accessible only to people with an internal login.
San Francisco has been embroiled in lawsuit over homeless encampments. Now a federal judge has temporarily banned the city from clearing homeless encampments.
San Francisco has been temporarily prevented from clearing homeless camps by a federal judge. The ruling said that the city violated its own policies by failing to offer other shelter. The move was the result of a lawsuit filed on behalf of homeless plaintiffs. The lawsuit sought to stop San Francisco from dismantling homeless encampments before it has thousands of additional shelter beds. Judge Donna Ryu in the U.S. District Court of Oakland granted the emergency order last Friday. It bars the city from taking away tents and confiscating the belongings of homeless people. Ryu cited evidence of the city regularly and illegally failing to offer shelter to people living on the streets before clearing the encampments. Other evidence cited showed that the city improperly seized or threw out their belongings. The judge ruled that the city's arguments in its defense were, quote, wholly unconvincing. In a statement, Mayor London Breed decried the emergency order. She said, mayors cannot run cities this way. She mentioned drug dealing, human trafficking, and other illegal activities. The lawsuit is among several pending in western states where visible homelessness has grown. This problem has increased with a shortage of shelter beds and affordable housing.
The suspected Stockton serial killer is now facing 4 more murder charges and 1 for attempted murder. The San Joaquin County District Attorney filed the additional charges. NTD's Jason Blair has the update.
The San Joaquin District Attorney's Office filed new charges against suspected serial killer Wesley Brownlee. 4 additional murders and 1 attempted murder have been added. The suspect now faces charges totaling 7 murders and 1 attempted murder. All the victims are alleged to have been shot with a handgun. Along with the announcement, San Joaquin County District Attorney Tori Salazar stated, "The San Joaquin County District Attorney's Office continues to collaborate with our local law enforcement agencies to ensure justice for these victims. We would like to thank the community for their support and law enforcement for their diligent investigation and apprehension of the suspect." Brownlee was arrested on October 15th by Stockton police. At the time, he was under surveillance as a person of interest in relation to several unprovoked killings. He is expected to appear in court again on January 3rd. Jason Blair, NTD News, California.
Elon Musk has announced a new Twitter policy. The new guidelines are to follow the science. However, Musk says that part of the process is the reasoned questioning of the science. NTD's Daniel Mollahan has the story.
The Greek Euripides said, "Question everything," but the old Twitter policy could better be described as question everything that conflicts with official government positions. That is, at least according to David Zweig's latest COVID-themed Twitter files. Zweig wrote that Twitter did suppress views, many from doctors and scientific experts that conflicted with the official positions of the White House. As a result, legitimate findings and questions that would have expanded the public debate went missing. He says the accounts of doctors and others were suspended or shadow banned for tweeting opinions and demonstrably true information. The following are some examples. Stanford's Dr. Jay Bhattacharya argued that COVID lockdowns would harm children. He said that places that avoided lockdowns had better results.
Places that have followed such a strategy, Florida, Sweden, other places around the world, have done much better in terms of overall health outcomes.
That got him on a trends blacklist that prevented his tweets from trending. Harvard epidemiologist Martin Koldorf tweeted that, quote, "Thinking that everyone must be vaccinated is as scientifically flawed as thinking no one should. Those with prior natural infection don't need it, nor children." Koldorf's tweet was hit with a misleading label and all replies and likes were shut off. American cardiologist Dr. Peter McCullough, formerly vice chief of internal medicine at Baylor University Medical Center, saw his account banned for vocally warning people about the dangers of myocarditis in connection with COVID vaccines. And mRNA vaccine researcher Robert Malone's account was apparently suspended for challenging the effectiveness of the vaccines. Meanwhile, Musk tweeted yesterday that anyone who says that questioning them is questioning science itself cannot be regarded as a scientist. Daniel Monahan, NTD News.
Santa Cruz police arrested a teenager for issuing fraudulent parking tickets near the beach area. The suspect attempted to steal money from people.
According to Santa Cruz police, on December 22nd, they arrested suspect Damian Vela, a 19-year-old resident of Watsonville. This was after police received reports of fraudulent parking citations. The phony citations were issued to parked vehicles in the beach area the day before and had a QR code that directed potential victims to a website for payment. Vela admitted to the crime and denied receiving any payments. Officers searched Vela's vehicle and located evidence relevant to the scam. Police booked Vela into jail for unlawful use of a computer system and attempted fraud. Detectives are looking for additional victims of this fraud and encourage community members to come forward and contact the investigations unit at 831-420-5820.
We're going to take a short break, but here's a look at what we got for you when we come back. The state has a new labor secretary. The previous secretary's departure remains unexplained. Recent studies show that California may be home to some of the happiest cities, but the state ranks low when it comes to generosity. And Southern California is gearing up for the annual Rose Parade. We'll have more on how the preparations are going. That and more on California Today. Welcome back to California Today. I'm your host, Lang Zhang. Federal lawmakers have changed the 19th century maritime liability rules for accident victims and their families. The change comes in response to the 2019 boat fire off the coast of Santa Cruz Island in Southern California that killed 34 people.
On December 23rd, President Joe Biden signed an $858 billion defense spending bill. It included the Small Passenger Vessel Liability Fairness Act, a law that updates liability rules for boat owners. The act updates the Limitation of Liability Act of 1851, which said boat owners were able to limit their liability up to the value of their vessel after an accident, meaning if a boat is wrecked in an accident and the remains of the boat total a value of $100, that's how much the boat owners can be liable for in the accident. But now, owners of small passenger boats can be held legally responsible for damages in accidents and incidents regardless of the boat's value afterward. In the 2019 Santa Cruz boat fire, also known as the Conception case, the scuba diving boat was a total loss. A fire trapped 33 passengers and 1 crew member and eventually sank. But the final changes to the law are not retroactive and will not apply in the Conception case. Representative Salud Carbajal, who represents the area where the disaster occurred, said in a news release, "This is an important change inspired by the families of the 34 precious lives lost on the Conception in 2019. That will ensure families of future maritime disasters do not face the same antiquated laws when seeking the support they deserve." A lawsuit filed by the Conception's owners to limit their liability remains ongoing in federal court. David Lamb, NTD News, California.
The governor has appointed a new labor secretary. The change comes after the previous secretary's sudden and unexplained departure.
Acting Secretary Stewart Knox has been appointed the new secretary for the state's Labor Workforce and Development Agency. The agency is part of the governor's cabinet. Knox said in a statement, "I am grateful for this opportunity and look forward to the work ahead to meet the state's workforce needs and expand economic prosperity across California." His official appointment must be confirmed by the state Senate. The governor's office said his salary will be around $232,000 per year. This comes as Secretary Natalie Palujai departed the agency under uncertain circumstances in early December. The governor's office has yet to publicly explain her departure. She was appointed in July 2021 and was earning more than $227,000 a year. Newsom announced last week she would continue to serve as an appointee to the Workers' Compensation Appeals Board.
Recent studies show that many cities in California have dominated the list of happiest in the United States. But despite its laid-back attitude, California also ranked as one of the least generous states in the nation. Some California cities, along with cities in Texas, Washington, and Virginia, are ranked as the happiest in the country. That's according to a new report from Smart Asset. It ranked 6 California cities as the top 10 happiest in the nation. Sunnyvale takes the number 1 spot. The rankings are determined by 13 different metrics that include personal finance, life expectancy, well-being, commute times, and violent crime rates. California cities scored highest in quality of life, had lower percentages of poverty, higher marriage rates, and a lower crime rate overall. While Californians are known for their laid-back attitudes, a recent Wallet Hub study shows that they are lacking in generosity. The Golden State was ranked 42nd out of 50 states, making it one of the least generous states within the country. Each state was scored using 19 key metrics that were grouped into 2 categories: volunteering and service, and charitable giving. Despite being one of the wealthiest states, California is one of the least charitable. That's according to rankings by Wallet Hub's World Giving Index. California's charitability is in stark contrast to its wealth, ranking near the bottom among the 50 states. The state ranks 42nd, scoring 50 out of 100 on the World Giving Index created by Wallet Hub. The state did relatively well in donating money to charitable causes, ranking 10th. It also scored near the top in terms of the percentage of the population that donates money to charity. But the Golden State finished last in the volunteering and service category. This ranking follows the trend of some border states faring poorly. Arizona and New Mexico, both border states ranked 50th and 48th respectively. The top three most generous states are Utah, followed by Maryland and Minnesota. After being abandoned at San Francisco International Airport, a puppy named Polaris was adopted by a United Airlines pilot. Polaris arrived as FO on an international flight with his original owner in early September. His owner didn't have the proper paperwork and chose to abandon the 6-month-old puppy before entering the U.S. After quarantining at the Los Angeles airport, Polaris was sent back to San Francisco, where airlines captain William Dale and his family eventually adopted him in December. Preparations are underway for the annual Tournament of Roses parade in Pasadena, California. For the 134th time, floats donned with thousands of flowers will travel the 5.5-mile route through the city to bring in the new year. NTD's Flinders Kinsley has the story.
With beautiful colours and flowers, the Tournament of Roses parade creates a spectacle for crowds of thousands throughout the city of Pasadena. But the chair of float entries, Steve Perry, thinks the route carries a deeper meaning, specifically the big turn onto Colorado Boulevard.
So turning the corner means stepping forward, making that turn, and looking down Colorado Boulevard, and whatever you want to succeed in, whatever your challenges have been, it's a new year, a new beginning, and turning the corner, we're making a difference.
Perry says some of the floats each have a minimum of 15 to 20,000 roses. They are brought in from California, Ecuador, Mexico, Thailand, and Hawaii. But what is truly beautiful is what the floats celebrate. The Tournament of Roses elects ambassadors who serve on the Royal Court float. For Michelle Cortez Peralta, a princess on the float. It's a dream she had since she was a little girl, seeing the float roll through the city. The 6 girls are chosen from 28 finalists and receive a $7,500 scholarship.
We've had a lot of community engagement events, so we've all participated in different things, such as visiting hospitals, such as the City of Hope. But then we've also helped paint a house for a Habitat for Humanity, which is going to house a veteran family.
The parade will be held on Monday, January 2nd, as the event has a no Sunday rule that was implemented in 1893 to accommodate church services. Flinders Kingsley, NTD News.
Yesterday, we looked at where to watch New Year's Eve fireworks in Northern California. Now let's take a look at Southern California. Here's a list of where you can watch fireworks in the greater Los Angeles area.
New Year's Eve is right around the corner, and that means fireworks will light up the sky in many parts of the state. Here's a list of the best spots in the Los Angeles and Orange County areas. First up is the fireworks at Marina del Rey. The waterfront city has fireworks at both 9 p.m. and midnight, making for 2 countdowns. The fireworks will be set off near Burton Chase Park, which also hosts a family-friendly glow party from 7 p.m. to midnight. Another waterfront city with 2 countdowns is Long Beach. You can watch the fireworks at 9 p.m. followed by another at midnight from pretty much anywhere near the water, like Shoreline Park and Village. Another spot is Universal Studios Hollywood. People can go on rides during the day and stick around for a midnight fireworks display. And naturally, Disneyland is another family favorite. On New Year's Eve, the park stays open until 2 a.m. with 2 special fireworks shows at 9 p.m. and again at midnight. Staying with the amusement parks, Knott's Berry Farm also extends its hours on New Year's Eve and New Year's Day. The park celebrates with a countdown to midnight, capped off with fireworks. And the final spot on our list is Winterfest in Orange County. People can enjoy DJs, dancing, a holiday parade, and of course, a fireworks show to ring in the 2023 New Year.
Now let's check in with NTD's Thomas Christian for today's Sports Roundup.
Thomas Christian, giving you the California Today Sports Roundup.
Jimmy Butler scored 27 points, Bam Adebayo added 23 points and 14 rebounds, and Miami handed visiting Los Angeles its 5th loss in the last 6 games. Butler and Adebayo shot a combined 21 of 34 from the floor. LeBron James matched Butler for a game-high 27 points and also added 9 rebounds and 6 assists, but he did commit 6 turnovers. Dennis Schroeder and Russell Westbrook each scored 15, with Westbrook dishing a team-high 8 assists. The Lakers are now 14-21 in 13th place in the Western Conference, with any hopes of making a playoff berth dwindling. After the game, LeBron stated publicly that he wanted to be a part of a winning team and that he wasn't interested in playing basketball, quote, just to be playing basketball. Heat 112, Lakers 98. Ty Jerome came off the bench to score 17 points and team with Dante DiVincenzo on back-to-back three-pointers that pulled Golden State from a fourth-quarter tie and propelled the Warriors past Utah in San Francisco. Playing on the second night of a back-to-back without Stephen Curry, Andrew Wiggins, or Klay Thompson, the Warriors, who own the NBA's best home record at 15-2, had enough energy to limit the Jazz to just 6 points over the final 7 minutes and 21 seconds, enabling a rally that produced a 4th straight home win. Despite missing 8 of his 10 three-point attempts, Jordan Poole led the way for the Warriors with 26 points, including a short jumper 1 minute and 27 seconds to play after the Jazz closed within 107-106 on a three-pointer by Jordan Clarkson. The Warriors are now 18-18 and have won their last 3 games without All-Star Stephen Curry and Andrew Wiggins. Warriors 112, Jazz 107. The two teams had just played a day earlier, resulting in the Kings losing to first-place Denver. Last night, however, Sacramento found a little extra magic as Malik Monk scored 33 points, including a free throw with 0.7 seconds left as Sacramento stormed back from down 11 to complete the comeback. Domantas Sabonis had 31 points and 10 rebounds despite playing with a fractured thumb. And De'Aaron Fox also scored 31 for the Kings. Nikola Jokic had 40 points, Bones Highland scored 20, Michael Porter Jr. 19, and Zeke Nnaji 14 for the Nuggets. Denver played without Jamal Murray, Aaron Gordon, and Bruce Brown. The Kings remain in the middle of the playoff pack in 6th place in the Western Conference with a record of 18-15. Kings 127, Nuggets 126.
And that's all for sports.
That's all we've got for you tonight. We'd like you to join us again on California Today every weekday at 8:30 p.m. Make sure to check out our broadcasts on our California Today webpage. You can find it at ntd.com/California-today. You can also find all of our top latest clips there, ready to share with friends and family. Send us a message on Twitter, Facebook, or Instagram, or through our email, california.today@ntd.com. I'm Lang Zhang. Have a wonderful evening.